a venue built in 1922 and the host of University of Michigan hockey since the early 70s. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University as we have a quick goal right off the off the face-off, rather. My goodness, we didn't even have time for an intro. Indiana draws first blood. Goal scored by number 16, Cade Kenyon, as he blows kisses to the crowd that traveled all the way up to Ann Arbor.
Well, I tell you what, Sam, that did not take long for Indiana to get back on the board. And another thing to note, that was a special point right there for Kenyon.
Kenyon now has 50 career points in a cream and crimson sweater, and it's a shame he couldn't have held up another 15 seconds before putting the biscuit in the basket. But this is Indiana traveling to play the Michigan Wolverines D2 team. I'm Sam Weixler alongside Garrett Drake. A quick shovel shot right in front on the backside by Vladislav Krush. Goes wide. Indiana in red sweaters from left to right. Another shot in the front and a goal again. Kenyon's got back-to-back nets. 2-0, and we're only 48 seconds into this game. My goodness, what a start for these boys after a long bus ride all the way up north, Garrett.
This is incredible. Kenyon able to get his second in about a minute span. And really, Indiana, they had 2 rebound opportunities right there. The puck was just sitting out in front. Krush almost got one, and then Kenyon was able to put it in as well.
Indiana in red from right to left. In the cage is Sammy Billis, a sophomore from Northbrook, Illinois, with a save percentage of about .912. Here come the Wolverines in the maize sweaters from left to right and the blue bottoms. Puck trickling around the blue line. Billis steps out to poke it away.
Sammy Billis hasn't played in about a month and a half. Neither has anybody on this Indiana team, but he actually missed the last couple games prior to the break with a hand injury.
His first game back since that broken hand he sustained in a practice shot. Here comes McDonald running in. He throws a shot along the slot, and it's swallowed up by the belly of Chris Scott, the starting netminder for the Michigan Wolverines. Chris Scott from Medina, Ohio, has played 10 games and amassed a record of 4-6-0, a goals allowed average of just over 4 at .402, and a save percentage at .879. Garrett, the senior they nicknamed Furf, has done well so far this season, but tonight really struggling.
Yeah, Indiana was able to put the pressure on Furf early. We couldn't really figure out why that was his nickname. Well, I guess we'll have to work on it.
Well, we were intending to have a pregame show, but the second Zamboni run never happened, so here we are, just a minute into this game. Knocking it around his feet, that's Sebs Culver, former teammate of the assistant coach for Indiana, Ricky Miles. And Slick had some very positive things to say about Culver. Quick hands and a fast skater going forward and backward. Puck flies up into the air right down to the stick of Sebs. He gets pushed down from behind. A little bit of a shimmy from Brandenburg. He gets bound into the glass. Thinking about a wrister, poked away. Keller had a shot and an easy save that did not test the goaltender much. Quick shot on the backside. Whiffs off the stick of Owen Collins, and Indiana knocks it free. Line change for the Cream and Crimson. Michigan will do the same.
Collins had a great opportunity there on the one-timer, but it hit off the heel of the stick.
Indiana trying to find it around their own net. Goodfellow dipsy-doos around his own cage, and an errant pass flies over to the near side. Michigan has sustained attack and finally forced into the boards. Mitchell throws a shoulder against Goodfellow. Another puck battle as it flies up into the air. Vanderoos goes down to his shin pads. Indiana trying to poke it free. Can't clear the blue line. Still over toward Sharma. Over toward the far side. Stick right into Simino. He gets tripped and the puck lands in the lap of Jeremy coming across center ice. Over
Delayed
to the
call.
slot.
Billis to the bench here.
6-on-5 at the moment. Another big hit along the boards on the near side, and now the whistle blows. So Indiana will go up a man for 2 minutes for the first time this evening and the first time in the year. Indiana on this 2021-22 campaign has been converting power plays at just under 1/4, 24.3%. And the Michigan Wolverines, for the games we do have stats for, penalty kill is at 82.5.
Anytime you can be in the ballpark of 80%, you know you've got a good penalty kill, and this Michigan team looking to prove that here.
Kissel goes down. Puck flies in between the legs of Collins, and Indiana loses the blue line. Cesarski circling the wagons and getting ready to reload the offense. Culver shadowing Cesarski, so he dumps it back over to Kenyon in the far corner. Michigan on a shorthanded forecheck at the moment. Already 30 seconds burned off of this power play for the Cream and Crimson. At the blue line, Collins takes another quick jab from Cesarski and heads back to the bench. Fresh penalty killers out for the Maize and Blue. Here comes 51-point haver Cade Kenyon, already with 2 goals. McDonald lets the pass fly past his stick. He was ejected from the last game and is informally known as Mr. Misconduct at the moment. Jam job right in front of the cage, poked away and whisked out of the zone by Michigan. We are halfway through this penalty kill for the Wolverines. Another touch right in front of the crease. Billis watches his defenseman clear away the danger. Errant pass into the neutral zone right in front of the officials' crease, if you will. And both sides will get fresh legs. 40 seconds to go on the power play for Indiana. 2-0 the score. Here comes Jeremy dancing around the right circle. Jeremy, the leading goal scorer for Indiana. A slap shot goes into the leg of Vladislav Krush. He can't find it. And again, Michigan successfully clearing the line and eliminating the danger for the time being.
Indiana had some time in the offensive zone on this power play, but they couldn't really get it past the circle.
5 minutes have elapsed here in the first period of this 2-game set between Michigan and Indiana. Jeremy gets spun around in the near corner, leaves it to Michele, who gets a little bit of a stick check. Fed over to DiLorenzo. Back to Michele at the right dot. Thinks about it. Krush behind the cage. Jeremy a one-timer up into the air. Scott slams his glove down onto the ice to stop play. And that'll conclude the 5-on-4 penalty as well. Back to even strength. 14:42 to go here in the first. Indiana up by a deuce. That's a crooked number up on the board. And it did not take long, Garrett. 90 seconds in. And Kenyon already had 2 points.
Yeah, it took him less than a deuce to get the 2-goal lead. Cade Kenyon already, he's got plenty of time to try to get the Hattie tonight.
Face off to the stick side of Chris Wolt. Scott won by the Cream and Crimson. Still along the blue line. As Chambers gets bound into the boards. Rushing to the far side is Nels. Nels had a hat trick against Bradley and could do some damage on the offensive side. Shot by McDonald from the right point, intended to be a deflection, goes to no one in particular, and McDonald moves across the timeline. Over at the left circle, trying to stick handle in between McDonald's legs, and instead he gets popped into the boards. He's got all kinds of snow onto his backside, and Michigan moving with some pace now. Flipped up off the stick of Ryan Williams. And Garrett, we've got to give some credit to the Michigan Club Hockey website and whoever writes all of those player descriptions. We're told that Ryan Williams' nickname is Willy Wonka. Here comes Chambers, thinks about a shot. Loses it off the toe of his stick, and he rushes toward the bench for a new man. Here comes Kissel, trying to get away from Null. Instead, they tangle up, and it's an odd man rush. It could be a 4-on-2 here. Moving in is Pizzatello. It's behind Billis. He kicks it away, and then jumping in to save the day is McKay. Goodness gracious, several scoring opportunities already. A big hit in open ice. Null turns around and tries to put Sharma on his backside. Now a man down for Indiana.
It's
and that's
Kissel.
Kissel again. Jack Kissel tied for the lead for Indiana in points. He's got 9 goals and 11 apples. He had a hat trick against the Kentucky Wildcats back at the Frank. And this is unfortunately not the first time we've seen him go down in a game. He's taken some big hits against St. Louis, some big hits against the Louisville Cardinals way back when, earlier this season. And unfortunately, that's the price you pay and the risk you take when you play such a physical, fast-paced game.
Yeah, Jack was going side to side right where the Big Ten logo is, and he took it wasn't a cross-check, but the Michigan player kind of crossed his arms into a almost X-Factor position and got him up high. It looked like it was to the head, but he appears to be trying to get up now.
Well, Kissel often knows where to be on the ice. And once in a while, you just get caught in no man's land.
And as always, you know, we don't speculate up here. We just say it how we see it, and we'll wait for the official update.
Looks like we're going to have some oil to scrape off. He was leaking, and he'll head to the bench to see if that nose will slow up. Interesting that in hockey you don't necessarily have to get all the blood off the uniform, whereas in basketball you certainly do.
There's definitely a lot more bleeding in hockey as well. That might have a...
Well, Garrett, we didn't live through the 80s in the NBA. I'm sure Bill Lambier would have a few words and beg to differ.
Yeah.
13:15 to go here in the opening frame between Michigan and Indiana. Cade Kenyon, the alternate captain and team president for Indiana, has 2 goals already. Indiana wins the faceoff in their own side. Rushing forward is DiLorenzo. He gets thrust into the boards. Matthews slides around. A quick change of his angle on his skates. And it's flung all the way across the ice, and icing has been called. So Indiana will now have a chance to set up a sustained attack over in the attacking third of the ice.
I would look for them to try to take advantage of this icing call here. They got the puck in early, but really they've struggled ever since the second Kenyon goal. But now they get to start with a faceoff, which Indiana's been exceptional at all year.
Draw won by Indiana. Here's McKay. A pass to the backside, stolen by Fisher Matthews. Matthews, the junior, rushing across the blue line. A wrist shot, glove down by Billis. He then puts his glove on top of the ice and traps it with just under 13 to go here in the first.
That one was close to poking free. Billis didn't get it initially. It popped out of his glove, but he was able to get down and he drew the whistle.
8:22 local time here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. In one of the finest venues we've had a chance to call games in this season, Garrett.
No question about that. It's a privilege to be up in this press box.
You know, we were on the bus ride with the boys up this morning, and Cade Kenyon is an undisputed leader on this team. He was talking with guys, whether they're seniors, juniors, all the way to the freshmen on the team, talking about how to attack, how to defend, analyzing the situations on the ice and trying to figure out what the best decision would be in each situation. And it shows that he knows what he's doing out there with those 2 goals.
And I think everybody also realizes the opportunity they have.
Wrist shot from long range, right into the chest protector. Scott swallows it up to stop play at 12:08 to go.
The Indiana players realize that they don't get to play in a barn like this every week, and they get to have 2 games here against Michigan, and you don't want to just come here and get blown out. You want to be a competitive team and try to win when you get these type of games.
Garrett, this is a 99-year-old building that closely resembles the layout of Hinkle Fieldhouse, for those of you that are familiar with Butler basketball or the movie Hoosiers.
Mm-hmm.
And the windows and the long brickwork on the ends of the ice, the ends of the arena, are pretty similar. Similar age as well.
It has slight resemblance to the Goggin Ice Arena as well.
Here comes Nels on a shot. A waffle board save by Billis on the backside. Impressive stuff for him in his first game back. Another long shot goes past. Van der Roost tried to find a deflection, and now the whistle's blown with 11:47 to go here in the first. Garrett, we talked about it briefly over the weekend, last weekend, getting ready for this series. Sammy Billis has a brand new helmet. That was a Christmas present, and it's a pretty cool design.
Yeah, he was eager to get out here and get his first save in it, which he's done.
Stick handling behind the cage is Williams. Lays it off to a teammate, but Cesarski knocks it free. Here comes Krush, passes it halfway along the blue line. McKay enters the zone, threads it behind Krush, and Cesarski cleans up the loose change. Krush getting pushed around inside the trapezoid. Moving in to give a helping hand is O'Flaherty. Back to Krush. He's battling hard. One of the most physical players on this team. Pass to the backside. McKay, another shot. Just wide. D'Lo turns the corner and spins away from what would have been a hard shot. He then gets laid out, and we're going to have a delayed call. Cesarski battling for the puck and flicks it forward, and now DiLorenzo is down hard, and we'll have a charging penalty. And now we've got fisticuffs.
I was just about to bring up the physicality. Michigan, they've been laying some big hits here early, and DiLorenzo is still down. the Indiana players continuing to check up on him as we see the trainer out on the ice for the second time. A beautiful cross-ice pass was made by Jack O'Flaherty. McKay then sent it down deep to Cruz, who just missed the stuff in right by the post, and then DiLorenzo got the rebound, and he got laid out.
Shots on goal stand at 12-5 in favor of the Cream and Crimson, who are 8th in the ACHA Southeast Region rankings. And the Michigan Wolverines listed at 15th. There is some confusion right now with the rankings because some schools are listed as not eligible or not in good standing with the ACHA, but things work themselves out as you get toward tournament time. And Garrett, it's unfortunate that we have a second Indiana skater down, but we do have plenty of notes to talk and freestyle. One thing that was interesting that I saw researching this game is that Owen Collins, the junior for Michigan, wearing the number 15 sweater, his profile on the Michigan website says that he has a hobby of taking frequent selfies.
You got to be pretty confident to have a hobby like that.
Do you think it's for Instagram or just Snapchat?
I don't even know. He probably just keeps them in his camera roll. Doesn't even post them anywhere.
Got to have different folders, I guess.
DiLorenzo's finally up, getting helped off by his teammates. You got to imagine he'll be done for the rest of tonight.
Ryan Williams, the man convicted of the 2-minute minor. But it looks like we'll have offsetting penalties as Captain Nathan Cesarski for Indiana has also been sent to the sin bin to sit down for 2. So we'll have a 4-on-4 instead of what could have been a 5-on-4 for Indiana.
Yeah, I was afraid that might happen. Cesarski ended up cross-checking a Michigan player when they were trying to break up the scuffle.
One other interesting note about the aforementioned Collins from Cote Rosemary Hall out on the East Coast, the alma mater prep school of the Kennedy family, Joe Kennedy Jr., the smarter Kennedy, who was a Navy pilot and was killed in action in World War II, as well as President JFK and Ivanka Trump, to name a few. 11 left in the first period, 2-0 the score, 4-on-4 as Michigan rushing toward Billis and the Indiana side. Matthews gets shouldered off the puck and spun around at the corner is Culver. Jeremy flicks it away. Now into the near side. Culver finds it along the goal line again. Dipsy-doos around Jeremy. Over to Collins. Long wrist shot goes straight into the front leg of McDonald. He's still moving quickly. Jeremy on a rush, one of the fastest guys on the sheet. Tries a backhand shot that goes short of the near side. McDonald holds it in front of the Michigan bench and cedes possession to Collins, who's getting pushed around by Will Kicker. Kicker, one of the more aggressive skaters on the ice for Indiana, can play a real transition role. Shot by Vanderroost goes straight into the body of Chambers, putting his ligaments on the line to make the play. A minute gone in this 4-on-4. Cesarski, the captain for Indiana, in the box. And on the other side of the officials is Williams. Kenyon, one goal short of a hat trick, trying to win it back, but instead Michigan moves along. Onto the near far side, that's Suggs. Right over toward Mitchell, lays it off, a shot that goes into the leg of Timmons, and a whistle has been blown with 9:36 to go here in the first. And we'll have to wait for a signal from the officials on the ice.
We've got 35 seconds left on the 4-on-4 here, Sam, and another note about Will Kicker is he definitely leads the team in words spoken on bus rides. I don't think there's any debate about that one.
Garrett, I concur most certainly. Shot that gets deflected, whizzes past Billis's foot. Digging in down low is Brock Huber. Huber, one of the assistant captains for Michigan, trying to kick it free. Slides all the way towards Suggs. A wrist shot that goes wide on the near side. Scooped up by Adam Offenbach. Offie, one of the better stick handlers on this team, now gets laid out in his own D circle. We'll have a delayed call, it looks like, with the linesman on the far side. And we have 9 minutes and 7 seconds to go here in the opening frame. Indiana still up by a pair, thanks to team president Cade Kenyon. Well, folks, we want to remind you this is not the only game we'll have this weekend. Tomorrow at 3 p.m., these two sides will lock horns yet again from the same spot and the same sides of the ice. Indiana 6-1, 3-0 in the TSCHL. That's 7-3-0 in normal counting. One of those wins is an overtime win against the Louisville Cardinals, a shootout win. Michigan playing around within the attacking side. Threaded over toward the center circle is McKay. Tries to stick handle in front of the cage. A high chip shot that goes past the top corner. Now pushed against the boards and across the blue line. Williams out of the box as we're back to 5-on-5. Knocks it forward. Goodfellow trying to stop the damage, but it's a quick wrist shot from right in front of Billis, and it goes 5-0. 2-1. Michigan cuts the deficit in half. And for Nate Persicki, the 6th goal of the season.
Yeah,
Persicki, one of the underclassmen, he's a freshman, really making a difference on this team for Michigan and making the most of the opportunity at hand.
I'm not sure Billis quite saw where that one went. It hit a skate out in front near the crease, and then it went right onto the stick of Persicki, and he just snapped it right past Billis.
Draw after that goal scored, won by Indiana. McKay backhands it across to Cesarski. Cesarski almost always the biggest man out on the ice. Plays physical every chance he's got. And speaking of playing physical, there comes Jack Kissel onto the ice after going down hard. Puck played in front of the cage. McDonald, senior captain for the Wolverines, clears it away and threads it over to Pizzatello. Into the corner, Cesarski shoulders a hit and stays on his blades. McKay flings it across and toilet bowls it halfway around. McDonald absorbs a hit, and the puck slides all the way down into the corner to Pizzatello again. 7.5 to go here in the first. Indiana up by just one tally. Jeremy moving across into the left point. Leaves it for Kissel, who flings it over toward Chambers. He avoids a big hit and knocks it across the ice. Michigan moving around in their own third as Kenyon pins a man up against the boards behind Chris Scott, the netminder for Michigan. Scott averaging just under 30 saves made per game. So it's not like he's tested constantly and worn out necessarily, Garrett. Seems like he sees an average amount of shots, just as Sammy Billis at 31.
I'd say that's definitely an average number compared to some of the netminders we've covered this year.
For Indiana on the attack, they average over 40 shots per game, and we've seen games where they had 70 against Xavier. Indiana playing around with it. There comes a long shot from O'Flaherty, who keeps it in the zone. A backhand shot by Kenyon. It looks like the cage may have come off its moorings. Krush going into the corner. And a quick wrist shot goes into the body and the leg of Vanderroost. We've seen a lot of guys putting the body on the line, Garrett. They are not afraid to play physical and do what it takes to get 2 points here.
Indiana did a great job of keeping the puck in the zone on that last possession as well. There were numerous times where they even gave it away, but didn't let Michigan escape.
Just over 6 minutes to play here in the first frame of 6 over the course of 2 days. 2-1 the score. And Cade Kenyon, a guy that we've mentioned plenty of times, has really had an impact every time he's had a shift. He's been in the corner trying to point things out to teammates, pinning guys against the boards to form a scrum.
And I knew before the game he was going to try to get one tonight because he told us it would be the 50th of his career, but now he's sitting at 51.
Not a bad place to be. Michigan throws it behind the crease and off of Billis' leg from close range. A wraparound attempt by Ben Forstner is unsuccessful.
Wow, I thought that was in.
Another shot from right in the blue paint, and Billis slams his leather down onto the puck to stop play.
I don't know how Billis was able to keep that puck out. I don't think he even knew what was happening. It just hit off his blade, it seemed like.
I believe it was a Calgary Flames netminder a few years ago that had that same thing happen. He didn't see it after the defenseman errantly cleared it right into his own blade, and it bounced off An unfortunate puck luck, if you will, Garrett.
We'll take it.
Burke handling the puck behind Sammy Billis. Now Forstner over to Burke. A quick shot from the backside. Another good save by Billis. Throws his glove, and we're going to have no whistle is not blown. And now a whistle is blown. My goodness, Tommy McDonald went hard into the boards, and it looked like it may have been a bit of a mistake by Brock Huber. He immediately reached down and checked to make sure Tommy McDonald was okay. The only problem is Tommy McDonald takes things a little personally on the ice and is not afraid to make his presence known come late in games.
Yeah, right there it looked like Huber was following the puck, and he just ended up skating right into McDonald. I think they were both looking at the puck, actually, but I think McDonald knows that that was accidental.
Well, you talk about point streaks. How about ejection streaks? Tommy McDonald, if he gets ejected tonight, which we hope does not happen, would be ejected from 3 straight games.
He's streaky, all right.
Well, you got to stand up for yourself and for your teammates, and you can't blame him for doing something like that. A 5, that's a nickel up on the board.
Oh, wow.
Brock Huber only had 8 penalty minutes on the season. We'll add 5 to that tally, and Indiana has a major penalty to work with.
And Huber is shocked that there is a 5-minute penalty on the board. I kind of am, too. That wasn't that big of a hit.
Scott, the netminder for the Wolverines, watches the draw go to Indiana to start off this 5-minute infraction. Kissel, stick handling, back to the left circle. Cesarski walks the blue line and pushes it back toward Kenyon. To the weak side, O'Flaherty thinks about it. To Cesarski, a wrist shot high over the cage. Deflection poked away by Kissel. And Cesarski quickly rushing over to the left point to keep it in play. O'Flaherty thinks about a shot, back towards Cesarski. Wrist shot off the bar! Bouncing and scores! Indiana off the deflection, scores. It's a power play goal to make it 3-1. Only 35 seconds into this 5-on-4, and Kissel ties up the team lead for goals. That's his 10th. My goodness, Indiana has come to play on the offensive side of the ice, Garrett.
That shot by Cesarski was an absolute rocket. Ended up hitting the crossbar, and then Kissel was able to just get the easy tap in while everybody was trying to figure out where the puck was. And Indiana remains on the power play.
For another 4 minutes and 20 seconds, Indiana will have an extra stick and skate out on the sheet. 3-1, Cream and Crimson on top in the first of 2 games. Billis has not had a ton to do, although he's made a couple good pad saves and a couple good uses of his glove.
Krusch and Matthews are talking to each other a little bit behind the play here. Got to watch for that.
Here comes Goodfellow, a quick pass indirectly off the boards.
They're going to go at it. Krusch and Matthews are slashing each other like crazy.
And we're going to have a delayed call that will...
And Matthews is going to get the penalty.
My goodness, Garrett, I thought it was going to temporarily negate the 5-on-4. And Krusch is going to be sent to the box. So for 2 minutes, Indiana will be back to 4 aside. Although that major penalty to Brock Huber will stay in place because it's a 5-minute.
And Matthews was really the one that instigated that the most. Krusch just got caught shoving him after the shot.
Fisher Matthews only has 1 point this season, a goal, and has not had his name jotted down in the penalty column.
Matthews got away with a couple slashes.
4:20 to go here in the opening frame. 3-1 Indiana. Kenyon, and Kissel to open up the scoring. Here comes Jeremy in the slot, stick handling around a defenseman. That's McDonald who jams him into the glass. McDonald pivoting around, pirouettes, and stays back onto his blades. Moving out of his own zone, has a 3-on-3 attack going. McDonald leaves it over for Williams. Poke check lands into the glove of McKay. Moving like a second baseman and playing it onto his own stick. Thinks about a shot, but takes a whack on the side of the leg. Now a shot through traffic, deflected back off McDonald, who gets bounced from behind. McKay scooping it, moving along the left circle, over to Cesarski. Weaves, shot going off the front leg. McDonald moving around with it again, still 4-on-4. for 69 seconds. A shot from,
McDonald got the deflection out in front.
my goodness, we can't keep our eyes on the right part of the ice tonight, Garrett. It's happening so fast. Tommy McDonald putting it in the back of the net to increase the lead to a trio of goals with 3:18 to go here in the first. Vladislav Krush will stay in the box, as will Brock Huber.
An unbelievable display of coordination by Tommy McDonald right there. He just kind of flipped his stick down and got the puck out of midair.
Shot standing at 20-9 in favor of Indiana. The ice has been tilted in the Cream and Crimson's favor. Chambers skating across his own goal line. Turns and goes with some speed. Now he has the puck again with Michelli onto his side. Michelli spins away from a big hit. Chambers flicks it across into the near corner. Battling Azarovitz. Azarovitz, the big 6 foot, 200-plus pound upperclassman for Michigan, really making his presence felt on the near side. Brandenburg scoops it up in the corner, gets jammed again, and Michelli has to come in and help him. Azarovitz working alongside Ben Keller, and they freed the puck. Here's Forstner skating across the Michigan logo at center ice. Pass deflected off the stick of Brandenburg, and Michelli has himself a one-man rush. Now 1-on-2, he waits for help. In the left circle, deflected to Cesarski, but no one was home. And Indiana was short a man on the ice. An odd man rush, a pass right in front of the slot. Keller didn't see it coming, and Garrett, there was a mistake on that shift by Indiana. They only had 2 skaters on until Cruz jumped back out of the box.
Yeah, fortunately for Indiana, they escape it, and they're back on the power play here for the next 120.
McDonald nearly gets sent into the turnbuckle, but because this is a Division I NCAA hockey arena, they don't have turnbuckles anymore, Garrett. They've got the curved glass. Stick handling right in front of the cage. Well, my goodness. Sebastian Culver nearly had himself a highlight reel goal, but it was poke-checked away by Billis. Van der Roost moving across the blue line. Chip shot flies lazily past Billis, and he lets his defenseman go into the corner and do the hard work.
Good job by Kenyon to kick that puck out right there. He got double-teamed.
Indiana may have an odd man rush now. 4-on-3. Here's Kissel. Quick pass down low to McDonald, who couldn't get it to go. Back to 5-on-4. Indiana has a power play. Kenyon backside, a whistle's been blown, and we may have a trip on the ice. With 66 seconds to go here in the first.
They're going to get McDonald for a cross-check right here to the back. He thought he got taken down out in front, and then he let his anger get the best of him again and went right after the guy who took him down.
Tommy McDonald, the team leader in penalty minutes with 74. Make that a +2. 4-1 the score for Indiana against the Michigan Wolverines. Sam Weixler alongside Garrett Drake. And we may even have a couple active players for Indiana hop in on the intermission show. We'll have to wait and see and find out who the cat drags in.
And going back to that McDonald penalty, I don't have a problem with what he did, but it's just the fact that he did it right in the middle of the play where the officials are looking. You're not going to get away with it.
A little bit of a discussion amongst the Zebras on the far side. And now we have another man sent to the box. Looks like Barrett McDaniel's going to take a seat.
I don't know what that's about.
4 men onto the ice for Indiana and 4 for Michigan. So it's 4 aside with just a tick over 60 seconds to go. Kicker weaving around in the slot. Puck just out of reach. And Nell's moving with Mitchell. Now he has Larson on the far side. Offenbach steals it away. 45 seconds to go. Kicker. 1 defenseman in front of him. At the right dot. Shoots, and it's just wide off the far side. Puck slides all the way over toward Mitchell. A no-look pass over to Larson, who chips it up into the air.
Michigan gets their 5th skater back right here. Huber's out.
The nickel has expired on Huber. And now another big hit in the corner. We're going to have a boarding on Brandenburg, it appears. Delayed call. And there goes Chris Scott rushing over to the bench. Waffle board save made by Sammy Billis, and the whistle will blow. So now another red sweater will head to the box with 16 ticks to go.
They have still yet to put Tommy McDonald's penalty up. I don't know why Barrett McDaniel is in the box, but his penalty is the one that's currently up on the scoreboard. And now Brandenburg joins them.
Garrett, I suppose it's a possibility that McDonald received a misconduct for an extended period of time, and they told him to take a seat and have a drink of water and catch his breath. We'll have to find out in the intermission when we go check the score sheet. In the meantime, 10 seconds before the end of the period, Michigan on the attack. They've got an extra skater out there.
They've got 2 extra.
Deflection in the near corner, and pinning it up against the wood is Cesarski. And that's how this first frame comes to a close. 4-1 Indiana on top of Michigan. But the scorer's table really tells the story. Plenty of penalty minutes to go around, including a 5-minute major on Brock Hubert. We'll take a quick break and figure out the goals, assists, and penalty minutes and send you to a quick break. In the meantime, this is Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University on the Indiana Hockey Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the Intermission Report here on the Indiana Hockey Broadcast Network. I'm Garrett Drake. Joining me is Carter Bonecutter, who got the day off today. And Carter, a couple things I want to ask you about. From a player's perspective, Indiana got out to a very fast start today. Cade Kenyon got 2 right off the bat. He actually earned his 50th career point on the first goal as well.
Oh, wow.
So one thing I wanted to ask you about is, what does it do for a team when they're able to get a couple goals right when the game starts like that?
Definitely. First, I'd like to give Cade a shout out. Congrats on the 50th point, Cade. That's awesome. Great achievement. As far as your question goes, popping one real early is just a great way to start the game. That's always, how you write it up. And, when you get a head start, especially against a team like this, we came into this game thinking we were better, but by no means did we, write it off as in the W column. So, getting that good start and starting the game plan accordingly was ideal.
Michigan got off to a slow start in this one, but they didn't let that back down their physicality. We've seen DiLorenzo took a big hit against the boards. Krush was getting into it as well. What has Michigan done differently compared to other teams that you guys have seen in terms of their physical play?
Yeah, I think it kind of ties into us going up early, and we got a decent margin going into the second period. I think there's some frustration there. When we scouted them out, we didn't think they were that physical of a team. So maybe we might have even had some players who were just, in a little bit more risky positions, while they were on the ice. But I think they're just trying to make something happen out there that's maybe not accounted for on the scoreboard.
The penalty box has been filling up early in this one. We'll see if that continues in the second. Sam and I will be back on the call, and we'll be back momentarily on the Indiana Hockey Broadcast Network. And we're back for period number 2 from the Yost Ice Arena in Ann Arbor. Indiana jumping out of the gate to a 4-1 lead. Cade Kenyon scoring 2 goals in the first minute of the game, and we're ready to resume action as the faceoff is controlled and goes back behind the net to be played by Michigan.
Garrett, it's been a while since I've been over in the color spot. Usually we have Kelsey Dennehy hopping in with us in the second.
I know, it's good to have you back, Sam.
We talked about the 2 points that Kenyon got himself in that opening frame, but Cesarski had assists on the final 2 goals of that frame for Indiana.
The puck played back out towards the blue line to be taken there by Azurovitz. He flips one towards the net. And now a shot blocked by Billis and batted out by Cesarski. And now Azurovitz takes it back out towards the blue line. We're going to have a whistle.
And Garrett, now looking at the score sheet, we were able to get a picture. They don't have the times that the penalty started, so we may have to go watch our own broadcast back and check the time on it. But we were correct in our assumption that McDonald was given a 10-minute misconduct. That's why he's in the box and his number's not up on the big board in the penalty spot. He's taken a seat for an extended period of time.
He'll still have quite a bit of time left on that as that shot is gloved by Sammy Billis. We'll face it off again.
18 minutes of penalties for Indiana in that first, and 9 for the Wolverines. Although several situations in the first period ended up just being offsetting.
Indiana didn't particularly have a whole lot of shots in the first period, but they had very quality looks. They only had 9 in the period. Michigan taking it back in towards the red line. He's knocked off the puck there.
Back to a single-man advantage for Michigan.
Jeremy thought about taking a swing at it, and now he does to clear. This will go all the way out to the other end. And playing it out there is Chris Scott. Furf, as his teammates call him, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Still not quite sure what that nickname means. That one flipped right back out by Jack O'Flaherty, and Furf again plays it towards Suggs. Now coming up with the puck for Michigan. Into the zone is Matthews. He gets knocked off, and Forstner with it now. They can't get the puck past the blue line, and now it goes all the way back into the neutral zone once again. Suggs plays it over to the far side, Matthews. That one gets past the stick of Forstner, and Kicker in a race for it. He's going to win. Goodfellow flips that one towards the boards, and now we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Matthews sends that one back behind the net to the other side where Suggs flips it right back over to him. Matthews will just flip that one in towards the zone. Timmons able to get Indiana going the other way. Brandenburg took a big hit earlier in the game, and Ethan DiLorenzo is now back on the ice after taking that big hit in the first. Timmons plays it across to the far side where it's taken by Chambers.
Both teams looking a little slow out of the gate here to start the middle frame.
Timmons flips that one in so Indiana can get a change, and Michigan will slow it up here. Coming up with it now is Sharma. Back into the neutral zone towards the red line. The puck is dumped in, and Matthews will now head to the bench. We've got a loose stick on the ice. The referee able to pick it up and bring it back to its home on the bench. A beautiful move by Pizzatello to get past into the attacking zone. He flips one on off the glove of Billis. It's still loose, and behind the net, Offenbach gets it out of harm's way. That one flipped towards the blue line, towards the Big Ten logo, and behind the net, taken by Chambers. Pizzatello is waiting for it on the near side. They try to get it back to him. Pizzatello dangling past. He fires in. It goes right into the glove of Billis from point blank range.
Sometimes part of goaltending is being at the right place at the right time, and Billis had his hand up, as he should, covering as much space as he could, and the puck just found the back of that leather.
Didn't even have to move the glove there. He picked the right spot And he guessed it right. Will Jeremy in the face-off circle for Indiana here, going up against Shouty for Michigan, Trevor Shouty from Marysville. Shouty plays it over to the other side, a slap shot off the glove of Billis, and it goes down. That's Sebastian Culver, able to get his 13th goal of the season.
Well, Garrett, we were warned about Sebastian Culver from Visalia, California, and played in Steamboat, Colorado with Ricky Miles, the assistant coach for Indiana. He told us he's a fast skater, good hands, and a hard shot, and we saw there a big slapper. He wound up and fired it, and Billis was only able to get a piece of it.
He now has an even 13 goals and 13 assists on the year for a total of 26 points. And he has been lighting up the scoring column so far this season for Michigan. Indiana wins the faceoff as McKay dumps it in. He gets checked into the bench.
Well, there's the curved turnbuckle again, Garrett.
Now playing behind the net and back out is Shouty. Indiana able to take over there. Cruz tried centering it with the backhand, and now the puck rolls behind the net. It's kept in by McKay. Good job there. Off the stick of Kenyon, and now Cesarski will take the puck back into the neutral zone. That one hit Larson up high. Cesarski again retreating. It's poked away by Culver. He's unable to get a shot off, and it nearly snuck through the legs of Billis right there as he kind of whacked at it with one hand.
Garrett, we saw an incredible level of physicality in that first period. Not only body checks and hip checks, we saw a lot of guys going down under their shin protectors, putting their chest in front of the puck, and blocking shots left and right. DiLorenzo was sliding around to block shots. Kitzel took one, and McDonald, the captain and defenseman for Michigan, took several right to the foot.
Michigan's been playing very physical and putting their body on the line. We had Carter Bonecutter join us in the intermission report, who got the day off today, and he mentioned that when they scouted Michigan, they didn't think they were going to be this physical of a team. That centering pass is knocked out of harm's way by Kicker.
Up until tonight, Bonecutter was one of just a few guys on the Indiana roster who had dressed in every single game.
And that one will be covered on the other end by Scott as DiLorenzo was hunting the puck down. Now Indiana will change lines along with Michigan.
Tommy McDonald still in timeout down there. And Garrett, he's not been ejected, but that's a misconduct, so a third misconduct in a row.
Yeah, missing a sixth of the game for that 10-minute misconduct. As Indiana off the offensive zone faceoff tried to get a slapper. Didn't quite make it to the goaltender, and now we'll redo.
One guy that I thought had a big impact in that first 20 minutes was Brock Huber. Even though he spent a full 5 in the box on a boarding call that was, it looked like an accident. He put his hand up immediately. He was playing physical. He was making passes in the attacking zone and moving the puck around for Michigan, keeping them active.
That puck finds nobody, and Billis swats it back out towards the neutral zone where it's grabbed there by Keller. On the other end, it's sent back to Keller. Huber gets hit into the boards there by Will Kicker, and the puck finds the stick of Adam Offenbach, still looking for his first goal of the year. Kissel bringing it in. Jack Kissel has already gotten the puck to cross the net, across the goal line rather, in this one. He finds Knoll. Knoll tries to rip one on, but it was blocked out in front by Azarovitz. Timmons trying to keep it in, and the puck is cleared by Huber. We're down to 13:40 to go in period number 2. Michigan has netted a goal, and it's now a 4-2 game. Bringing it in as Chambers. Offenbach flips one on, it's loose, and covered by Scott. Krushwa came flying in there looking to get that rebound, and he was hungry for it.
Angle up and down as level as you can when you're going across. Even if we lose part of the ice right directly under us, as long as we keep it kind of flat. Yeah,
Will Jeremy will take the draw here for Indiana, and they're able to win it. Timmons flips it up over the head of Pizzatello. And now Michigan trying to get a rush here. Sharma muscled off the puck by Timmons. Good job there by number 4 in red. Mitchell plays it behind back to Matthews, and now the puck squirts free. Chambers gets checked into the boards, and now here comes Indiana with Jeremy. Jeremy, toe drag. And the shot went off the goalie, out of harm's way. Krusch bringing it behind the net, just bulldozing through defenders trying to stay on the puck. Pizzatello nearly got a break there. A good play by Cesarski to keep it in. That play was nearly offside. Indiana escapes, however. Jeremy gets shoved to the ice as he was not even on the puck. Cesarski flips one on, and that one is grabbed by Scott.
Well, we want to take a moment to remind you that if you're not plugged into Hockey at Indiana University on social media, it's at hockey_IU on Twitter and Instagram, and Hockey at Indiana University over on Facebook. Plenty going on to check out. Game recaps, series previews as we had written up for this weekend series.
There's all sorts of content on there that you do not want to miss. Cesarski playing it towards the middle. McKay making sure nothing bad happened from that. And now DiLorenzo trying to get in. He's knocked off the puck. O'Flaherty takes it towards the blue line and now brings it into the attacking zone. He flips one on off the pad. DiLorenzo got a slap at it, and it's cleared out by Sharma. Kept in the zone by O'Flaherty, however. He sends it all the way behind to the near side. DiLorenzo flips it up trying to find Kenyon, but the puck never reached its destination. Cesarski flips one on, and it was deflected and went up high off the glass. Again, Cesarski with the wrist shot, but that one did not find the net. DiLorenzo still with the puck. That one goes through the legs of Shouty. A battle for the puck now. Oh my gosh, I don't know what McDonald was doing right there, but he sent the puck right towards his own net.
That's a dangerous clear.
I was almost shocked that I saw that. O'Flaherty, that one off the pad. DiLorenzo gets pushed off the puck, and now Michigan trying to work the other way. Coming up with it now is Przicki. He gets through the zone. And he's cut off beautifully by Brandenburg. Indiana will take possession here as Brandenburg rings it around to be played by Knoll. It appears Knoll and Kicker had a bit of a miscommunication about who was going to get that puck.
Garrett, it's interesting. That's one of the things that was stressed at the Tuesday practice for Indiana, communication on all sides of the puck.
Brandenburg flipped one on, but it hit a leg out in front. Knoll nearly was able to keep that puck in. Brandenburg goes back to retrieve. And now a shot sent past the glove of Billis by Williams. Willie Wonka kind of just let that one go from a bad angle, and it nearly found the net. Kicker spinning his way in. Gets the puck in the corner and sends it around to the far side. Timmons plays it over to Kicker. Kicker flips one all the way from the blue line, and it was blocked away there by Chris Scott. Michigan in the lead in terms of shots on goal this period so far, 9-7. And they have the lone goal of the frame as we're halfway through. Chambers pushed off the puck there. It's played back behind by Brock Huber. As Sam mentioned, is a focal point of this Michigan team. Matthews from the blue line, never found the net. And now Chambers battling for it, flips it toward the near boards official. Kissel tried to flip it all the way across to Krusch, but it was unable to get there, and now Suggs bringing it through for Michigan. That one deflected up high and off the net. We're going to get a stoppage with 9:21 to go.
That looked like the punt in the Cowboys game that hit the Jumbotron in the top of the field.
The Jumbotron here at Yost is not on right now, but it is pretty big compared to the size of this building.
I guess they didn't sell enough tickets this evening to paid the electric bill for that giant jumbotron in front of us.
I couldn't even imagine what that's like every month when the electric bill comes in. This is a very nice facility, though, and we are fortunate to be here calling this game. Out in front, Mitchell couldn't get his stick on the puck. He would have had a beautiful opportunity to score right there. Krusch bringing it through, the alternate captain for Indiana, along with Cade Kenyon. Chambers flips one on, and it's gloved by Scott.
The physicality has not been nearly the same as the first. We saw everybody jumping out and jumping on each other in the first 10 minutes or so, and things have kind of evened out. Everybody's keeping an even keel and keeping their head on straight, and not nearly as much action in the penalty box. And Garrett, to tack on to what you said just a moment ago, there's definitely ghosts in this building. You can definitely feel the presence and the history. It seems like every single corner and back alley of this arena has some poster of a Stanley Cup winning Michigan Wolverine.
McDonald dangling through. It's kept in by McKay, but now Michigan able to come away. This is Paul McDonald bringing it into the zone. Culver lost it. It still found its way to the net, and Billis is able to cover, as he saw a barrage of maize and blue coming right at him.
Seems like the speed of play has not quite been what it was in the second either, Garrett. In the first, rather.
The physicality is definitely dialed down a little bit, and I think part of that has to do with the fact that both players from both teams exerted so much energy in the first period, and we know Indiana hasn't played in a month and a half, so that could be a factor. McDonald flips one on, that never found the net. O'Flaherty sends the puck back behind to McDonald, but then he gives it away. Coming up is Culver. Collins finds Miller out in front. Keller, rather, excuse me. And McKay able to control for Indiana. Cesarski trying to find McDonald at the blue line, and he does. It's a 2-on-1 across Knoll. Whiffed on the one-timer. It hit off the heel of his stick. They keep it in, however. McDonald over to Knoll again. Knoll flips one on. Beautiful block there by Scott. Jack Knoll has a rocket of a shot as well, and Scott showed the cat-like reflexes there. That one flipped on by Perzicki and grabbed by Billis. Face-off controlled in the Indiana zone by Michigan, and Perzicki sends it across. That one got past the stick of Azarovitz, and kicker plays it up to Brandenburg. That play was offside. It took a while for the refs to realize, but DiLorenzo never checked up. 7:28 to go in period number 2. Michigan still with the lone goal of the frame. And it was scored by Sebastian Culver, who, as we mentioned, went to high school with assistant coach Ricky Miles of Indiana.
Another odd connection between these two teams. The head coach for Michigan, Ryan Brown, in his 4th season at the helm and 6th season with the program in total, actually played alongside former Indiana head coach Andrew Newman back when they were in junior hockey in Atlanta, Georgia.
It's a small world, Sam. That's one thing we've come to learn, especially in hockey. DiLorenzo bringing the puck in. A beautiful dangle. It finds the stick of kicker. It's still loose. Out in front. DiLorenzo gets shoved onto his back out of the crease, as the puck is finally covered there by Scott, and Vanderhorst was not happy with DiLorenzo right there.
Little extracurricular activity, but neither of these sides are strangers to that. The Dayton game between Michigan and the Flyers of Dayton, Ohio, ended in pretty much a line brawl. There were 4 different ejections with 30 seconds to go of a 2-game series, so obviously tensions were high and patience had run thin.
I got a feeling I didn't nail that pronunciation right on number 9 for Michigan, Ethan Vander Rost, I think.
Vander Roost with an umlaut.
Roost. His nickname is Rooster, so that makes sense. I'll just call him Rooster. The face-off won by Michigan and flipped up off the glass. Grabbed at center ice by Chambers. It looked like he might have taken a bit of a hit to the back there. And now bringing the puck in is Suggs, but it goes off of his stick. Krush is going to get in here free, and he plays the puck off of the defender Matthews right there. Kenyon able to control. That one hit off. It might have drew iron. I think that puck hit the pipe and off the foot of Scott, and it stays out, similar to the play that we saw with Sammy Billis in the first.
Garrett, I was going to also say, when you remarked how small of a world it is in the hockey universe, especially this side of the border, this side of the 49th parallel.
Face-off controlled by Michigan with 6:15 to go in period number 2 of 3 from Ann Arbor. Chambers stops behind the net and reverses track. O'Flaherty plays it up to Krush. Krush getting whacked at as he brings the puck in, and now Michigan able to break away with it. Mitchell forgot the puck, and now it's on the stick of Pizzatello. Pizzatello drops it off, but nobody was there except Krush. Now the puck rolls all the way to the other end, and Indiana will get a change. Cesarski controls and tried to find Kissel, but it was deflected. Sharma sends it up towards the blue line. The puck gets in behind the net where Cesarski plays it out.
Oh.
Here's Keller out in front. He had an opening. The puck is still loose, and going down onto his knees at the goal line was Matt McKay. Fortunately, Billis was able to trap that one. McKay was ready to stop that one from going in, though. He was laying it all on the line to stop that goal.
McKay's a sophomore that has really had a breakout year this year from Zionsville, Indiana. Has 4 points this season, but his impact is really felt on the defensive side, right in front of his netminder, whether it's Sammy Billis, Nathan Chinney, or McCaskey and Zaremski.
Trevor Schaude wins the faceoff for Michigan, and the shot on net is blocked out in front by McKay and flipped up to the other end of the ice.
Yeah, just as we mentioned him, he took care of the puck safely and moved it away.
Indiana's going to get called for an icing here, so we'll redo it from the Indiana zone with 5 minutes on the dot to go here in the second.
Garrett, I don't think the penalty box doors have swung once this frame.
No, it's been a clean period so far, but we know how quickly that can change.
Clean, quiet, and calm.
The lone goal of the period belonging to Sebastian Culver still. Michigan again able to control the faceoff. Good job by McKay to get the puck away, and now Indiana racing the other side with Jeremy. Jeremy centers it. It's off of Scott. Kissel plays it behind. Out in front, Jeremy shoots, and it goes past the net. It was wide. A beautiful opportunity there, and Culver chasing the puck down. He doesn't have numbers, so he flips it up towards the blue line. He finds the stick of Schaude. The puck is still loose, and they score! Culver shoots, and he gets the deflection out in front. Trevor Schaude let one go from near the blue line, and it hit off of Billis.
Now, Matt McKay is pleading his case and filing a grievance with the officials, but he's got to be careful. He doesn't have a letter on his sweater, and he better let Cesarski do the talking, especially since Cesarski's already had some time in the box.
Culver gets his second goal of the period, 14th on the season, and just like that, it's a one-goal game with 4:27 to go in the second. That was really just an unfortunate bounce for Indiana, too. There's not much Billis could have done about that one. Culver got a couple whacks at it from the crease. And when you have that much net to shoot at, you're bound to find some of it. Indiana wins the faceoff with McDonald. That one deflected off of Vanderoost. And he gets knocked off the puck as kicker keeps it in. McDonald with it now for Michigan, not Tommy McDonald of Indiana. Now Tommy McDonald with the puck. McDonald and McDonald going at it here. Kicker flips one out in front, but that hit Offenbach at center ice. And now the puck cleared all the way to the other end. Kicker hunts it down to avoid a Michigan rush. Nellis takes it around the net and tried to find Perzicki out in front, but it was deflected out and up over the glass onto the aluminum bleachers here.
No warm bodies to hit it before it smacked against the aluminum and made quite a clunk.
In the face-off circle for Michigan here will be Ben Forstner going up against Brandenburg for Indiana. And Brandenburg comes out on top. DiLorenzo still fighting for the puck, and it goes back towards Billis, who has to drop to the butterfly to stop that one. Around the net they go. It's centered out in front. Puck is still loose and knocked out beautifully by Brandenburg. The puck goes into the near side corner now. And wrapping around is Azarovitz. Azarovitz trying to find some space. He flips one on, and Billis knocks it away with the blocker.
Billis punched it out of the air.
That one nearly found Billis again as the deflection out in front by Forstner went wide. We're down to under 3 minutes to go in the period. 4-3 Indiana. DiLorenzo finds Chambers. Chambers into the attacking zone. Indiana with a 3-on-3 opportunity, and it's knocked off of his stick.
Chambers just ran out of real estate moving backward into the slot.
Brandenburg deflects that one into the zone for a change. And they find Krush off the bench, and that play was offsides by a mile, but they didn't call it. We've seen some interesting decisions by the referees here in terms of penalties and such. O'Flaherty takes a shot to the head as he let that one go. And now coming up with it the other way is Culver. He has 2 goals in the period, and he almost made it 3. Billis doesn't know where the puck is. Now he's able to locate as that one deflected up high. Final 2 minutes to go in period number 2 here. We got a delayed call in. Michigan's going to be going to the box. It's going to go against Culver. As he now skates his way towards the sin bin. Culver with 2 goals in the period, and he nearly got his 3rd, and now he's heading to the box.
Looks like holding will be the call on Sebs Culver.
Yeah, I didn't quite see what happened there. It looked like it happened away from the puck. But Indiana will go on the power play for the final 1:57 of the second. Kissel trying to find space, and the puck goes into no man's land. Cesarski sends it back down. Indiana has to work on keeping this puck in here. O'Flaherty lets it get out, and now they'll have to retreat with Kenyon. O'Flaherty dangling his way past center ice and now into the attacking zone. He flips one on, and it goes right into the chest of Chris Scott. Scott got off to a rough start, but really ever since that flurry put on by Kenyon, he's fared well. He just faced a lot of shots from this Indiana team.
One interesting note, but the combination passing that Indiana has, the consistency. O'Flaherty had the first assist, the primary assist on both of Kenyon's goals way back in the first. Really crisp passing on that line.
Michigan controls the faceoff here, and they're trying to kill the rest of this period to avoid an Indiana power play goal. They're still battling for the puck. There's 3 Indiana players in that area and just 1 for Michigan. Indiana able to come out with it. Cesarski finds Kenyon underneath. Now back out to Cesarski. The puck is flipped all the way to the other end. And now racing for it for Michigan is Owen Collins, and he wins the battle. Collins flips a backhand, glove down by Billis, and he drops it off for Cesarski. Forstner sends it back down for Michigan. Final 40 seconds here in the period. Indiana looking to capitalize on the penalty that went against Sebastian Culver. Now onto the ice for Indiana is Aiden Goodfellow. And Krusch will join him as Goodfellow brings it into the zone. He flips one on, but goes wide. Kenyon looked like he wanted to do a wraparound right there, but he forgot the puck. DiLorenzo finds Kenyon. D'Lo lets one go. It's deflected off the glove of Scott. And we're now down to 6 seconds to go. And Michigan appearing to be content with killing the rest of the period. And that will do it for the second. Michigan nets 2 goals in the period, none for Indiana, and we're going to have a 1-goal game going into the third from Yost Arena. Sam Weixler will be back on the play-by-play duties for the third. I will resume my position in the color, and we will have the intermission report coming up in just a couple minutes. You've been watching Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University on the Indiana Hockey Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the Yost Ice Center here in Ann Arbor, Michigan for the second intermission show. I'm Sam Weixler, and joining me up here in the press box, Carter Bonecutter. Carter, you've watched the first two periods, and you've seen the change in the energy from the first to the second period. What do you think causes that, and how do you fix that?
Yeah, I think maybe we're getting a little complacent. You know, like we said, we had a really good start, and I think it led to maybe a little bit too much, comfortability. To change it, really, I think we got to kind of start picking up the physicality a little bit. Michigan's been throwing the body around. I think we got to do some more of that. It's a lot of things that don't show up on the scoreboard or in the score sheet that I feel like can raise the energy. Would love to see, some of the captains step up and, maybe get in some kids' grills, fire them up a little bit. But, yeah.
One thing that does certainly show up on the score sheet is the penalty minutes for Tommy McDonald. Do you guys give him a hard time in the locker room or on the bus for that?
Yeah, we always do. Yeah, we razz him a good amount. Don't quote me on this, but I know I've heard rumors that he's in the top 10 in the ACHA for penalty minutes, which is pretty crazy.
Well, we did play Kentucky, and he racked up a few there.
Yeah.
And those guys had 126 penalty minutes in one game earlier this season, so he's got stiff competition.
Yeah.
I know Vladislav Krush isn't exactly a fan of the penalty minutes either.
He is not. He always lets the refs know what he's thinking, too, which is always entertaining, to say the least.
Can they understand him?
It just depends on how upset he is, so yeah.
Well, we've got plenty of exciting action. 4-3 the score, 20 minutes to go here from the Yost Center in Ann Arbor. Carter Bonecutter alongside Sam Weixler. We'll see you after the break. This is Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University on the Indiana Hockey Broadcast Network. "20 minutes are up on the big board, and just one tally separates these two sides through 40 minutes. 4-3 the score. Michigan trailing at home to the traveling Indiana Cream and Crimson back here at the Yost Center. Sam Weixler on the play-by-play, back with Garrett Drake after the intermission. Indiana in red sweaters from right to left, and the Michigan Wolverines from left to right. Scott still in the cage for the maize and blue, and Billis back in between the pipes for Indiana. Off the draw, McKay rushing forward into the slot, but dispossessed by Owen Collins, who backhands a pass all the way over to Suggs on the stretch pass. Stick handle, shoots, kicked away by the left pad of Billis. It flies behind him and bounces and wobbles right past his leg. Thankfully, Cesarski in there to clear the puck away from danger.
I'll tell you what, I thought Suggs brought that puck into the zone backwards.
Here comes Krush on a big shot. We talked about him in the intermission show with Carter Bonecutter. We want to thank him for taking the time to hop in.
Which, of course, if you cross the line before the puck, it's ruled offside. That would have been a bad break if Michigan was able to score off that.
Matthews a long wrister from the left point. Krush pokes at it along the near side. Here comes Jeremy inside the official's crease to the left dot. Bounces it off the yellow boards and loses it behind him for a moment. Pushed off of it by Azarovitz. Now to Kissel at the right dot. Pass right in front of the cage. A deflection kicked away by Scott. Might have also gotten a bit of the paddle on it as well.
He came out a bit to get that one.
Williams tried to stick handle at the blue line, but easy poke check and force back across. And Michigan will have to reset and try to find another way into the zone. They do this time. That's Azarovitz sliding around outside the right circle. Keller lines up a wrist shot through traffic and off a body. Still in play on the near side. We're through 1.5 minutes here in the final period. 4-3, Indiana on top of the Michigan Wolverines. Brandenburg bounces it off the toe of his stick. Weaves around over to Kissel, who just outstretched and missed it going into the goal line. D'Lo bounces it behind him. A quick flick by Kissel. Knocked away by Keller. He emerges with the puck, and it goes all the way across the ice. Icing waved off, though. Billis looked like he was trying to draw the call and get the forwards for Indiana a free 80 feet. That's one other difference, Garrett, between the Frank and pretty much every other rink we play at, is that the Frank Southern Ice Arena is a good 15 feet too short and about 4 feet too small in width.
Yeah, every game at the Frank's going to be physical, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that they have a lot less ice to work with.
You got to be able to stick handle in a shoebox, if you will. Puck kicked around just outside the blue paint. Moving around with it is Patrick Burke. Another shot off of the stick of Huber goes wide. Here comes D'Lo on a rush. He's got Michelli on the near side and chooses to pass to him. Michelli throws on the brakes. McKay lines up a slap shot off a body and scooped away by McDonald. McDonald stick handling through traffic. Michelli throws his shoulder, and the puck continues forward over toward Vinnie Larson. Vinnie Larson, the team president for Michigan, and according to his bio on the team website, sometimes chooses to go by His Holiness, the team president, Vinnie. Gotta love leadership, Garrett. 3 minutes played here in the third period. Here's McDonald out of the box. A wrist shot straight into the giant blue M on the breastplate of Scott, and we'll have a stoppage in play with 16.5 to go, and still a 1-goal lead for Indiana.
Indiana looks like they've picked up the tempo a little bit here early in the third compared to the second. It looked like they were a little sluggish, and Carter Bonecutter touched on it in the intermission show. They got out to the big lead, and then they kind of stopped playing a little bit, it seemed.
Late substitution, Adam Offenbach lunges over the boards, and sliding out to take the face-off is Jack O'Flaherty. This is the first game that we've seen Jack O'Flaherty and Chambers without those green Hulk gloves, if you will, Garrett, looking like the superhero.
It was always easy to find them. Now they blend in more.
Null's wrister goes straight into the back pocket of Scott's glove to stop play again, and we'll load the horses in the chute and do it all over. Indiana has just one power play goal thus far. It was the third of the 4 goals. And Kissel was the man who put it across the line in that. Although they have been strong in moving the puck around when they have an extra guy. Here comes Offenbach, leaving it for McDonald in the far corner. He forks it back toward Null, who kicks it along the boards again. Cesarski finds the puck on his blade, but it's over to Matthews on a rush. Backhand shot, and it's off the post and in. the junior defenseman Fisher Matthews gets his second goal of the season. And we're all knotted up at 4 apiece with 1 second, under 16 to go here in the final frame of action on a very loud Friday night at the Yost.
Matthews got a little sneaky on that one. He started eking out towards the Indiana bench a little bit. Nobody picked him up, and he got a free rush straight in from the blue line, and he hit the backhand off the post.
Referee on the near side had his hand up. We may have a delayed call, and we'll have a high stick.
It's going to go against Michigan here.
So Indiana, who is 1 for 5 on the man advantage thus far, will get a chance to prove their worth. Garrett, it's going to be interesting to see if the physicality changes in the final 15 minutes, which I would have to assume most certainly will happen.
I almost think Indiana has to change it because they've given up 3 unanswered goals since jumping out to that 4-1 lead.
The status quo has changed. Going into the box is Owen Collins. Collins has 15 penalty minutes this season. It's not a 0 on there, but it's certainly not the team lead. Past the length of the blue line to DiLorenzo. Left for Jeremy outside the left circle, whizzing through across the goal line. A pass just past Michelle's stick, couldn't hold on to it.
That was a good look right there.
DiLorenzo seeds the blue line and back skates right across the Big Ten logo in the high slot in his own defensive side. Just over 15 to go in this TSCHL contest. DiLorenzo cruising around through traffic, drawing one defender after another. Azarovitz shadowing him as he moved along the corner boards. And Billis slides out to play the puck, giving it to Cesarski. Cesarski takes a whack and stays on the puck, pushing it forward. Now another bit of a jab. Indiana still on the 5-on-4 for 50 seconds, but Michigan is having a field day with these shorthanded opportunities. Another one as Nellis moves in. Indiana can't set anything up at the moment. DiLorenzo being forced into the corner. Garrett, it's like watching a chess piece get forced into the corner of the board.
Yeah, DiLorenzo was out of gas right there when he got the puck. He wanted to go on the rush, but he just didn't have enough leg left.
30 seconds remaining on the power play for Indiana. Converting just under 25% of the time. Here comes McDonald across the logo, leaving it for Kissel, but poked away. Just over 10 seconds to go on the power play for Indiana. Michigan gets fresh killers out there. And behind the net, McKay has trouble pulling it free. That'll do it for the 5-on-4. Back to even strength. McKay tries to find Kenyon on a through pass and deflected high into the air. Here's Culver on a rush. He gets thrown down, and that's a good aggressive penalty as McKay prevented Culver from a one-on-none opportunity and a shootout situation, essentially,
and
against the goaltender, Sammy Billis.
O'Flaherty not happy about that as he bangs his stick on the glass. Indiana starting to take penalties that are uncharacteristic of them today. Both teams have been active in terms of spending time in the penalty box.
Interesting to note that the second and third goal for Michigan, both scored by Culver, were also assisted by Schaude and Collins on both of them. So all kinds of points for those guys. That line is hot. 13:42 to go here in the third. We are square at 4. And Indiana will be a man down for just under 2 minutes. Over toward Pasecki. Into the near corner, that's Williams spinning around, avoiding the back-checking Chambers. Flicked across, off to the stick of Fisher Matthews, who's got the A on his sweater this evening. All the way down across the goal line, and Sammy Billis staring at it with an intense look on his face. So Indiana will move the puck the other direction in front of Scott with just over 13 to go.
Fortunate bounce for Indiana right there as they're able to draw the icing, and I would look for them to try to get a puck on net if they could win this faceoff.
You know, Garrett, one interesting thing we saw when researching this game and this series is that this Michigan team does better on the road in terms of goals scored and goals allowed. They have a better plus-minus on the road, plus 20, whereas here at the Yost Center or other complexes in the Ann Arbor area, they're only at plus 16. Another big hit right at the blue line. Williams goes face first into some glass and moves the puck across the blue line, but to no avail as his guys will have to chase it across. 1 minute gone on this power play. Simino reaches out and pokes the puck away, preventing an easy stretch pass at the blue line. There's Goodfellow tackling a man on the boards. Slow to get up is Persicki. Williams a back pass over toward the blue line. McDonald's wrist shot goes straight into the leg pad of McDonald. Try saying that. Here goes Tommy McDonald for Indiana. Tries to stick handle around the much larger Paul McDonald. And boy, if that don't beat all, Garrett, a one-on-one between McDonald and McDonald.
McDonald thought he might have got hooked a little bit there. He was talking to the official as he skated back down to the other end.
Reminds me of a nursery song. 20 seconds to go on this 5-on-4 for Michigan. Still in the box. Taking a timeout is McKay. It was just a misdemeanor, if you will, a 2-minute. He's standing up and stretching his legs as Forstner moves along and throws the puck into the turnbuckle to stop play. And McKay, frustrated that he couldn't hop onto the ice right away. 3 seconds left on the power play. And a mere technicality, really, with the face-off coming in the neutral zone. 11:45 remaining in the final period. We are deadlocked at 4 apiece. 3 unanswered goals for Michigan. And 2 big goals by Sebastian Culver. Culver has now 14 on the season, which is still too shy of Ryan Williams, who has amassed 16 goals, not including the goals scored during last weekend's drubbing of TCU down in Texas. Big, hard slap shot from the far boards. Played with by Larson on the right point. Kissel cruises in. We're back to 5 aside.
Man advantage here.
Odd man rush. Backside. No shot. Scores! Jack Knoll, the junior, nets his 4th goal of the season and puts Indiana back in the lead. 5-4 with 11-11. Make a wish, Garrett. Left in the 3rd. And Knoll getting a big chokehold of a hug from his buddy Jack Kissel. And I'm sure they'll be talking about that shot on the bus ride back to the hotel this evening.
And you knew right away Indiana was going to get a great opportunity right there. The line change happened when the puck was entering the neutral zone. It went right to Kissel, and they just kept on going all the way to the net.
Come to think of it, one of those assists was for Kissel, so Jack and Jack each nab a point. Krusch reaches out and puts his shoulder onto the puck to stop it from moving any further. Instead, it's a miscommunication. Persicki feeds it across the blue line. Raked out by Kenyon, and then 2 men collide. Here comes Krusch at the right circle. He dangles, stick handles. It's under the body of Chris Scott. He goes down and the puck continues to be free. Cesarski tries a little bit of work with the blade of his stick and then flicks it across. A diving attempt by Matthews to block the pass. But nevertheless, each side gets a line change. Persicki in top of the logo. His shot gets blocked on a stick check. And Fisher Matthews kicks it to himself. To the team's leading scorer, Williams, dumping it into the corner. We're at the halfway mark here in the final period. Indiana up by a single goal thanks to Jack Knoll just moments ago.
Michigan had numbers there on the odd man rush. Fortunately for Indiana, they just decided to flip it towards Billis.
Pass that ricochets off the boards, going the width of the neutral zone, chased down by Kicker. One of the standout underclassmen on this side. Has really been an invaluable piece on the defensive side as well on the attack. Kicker does have 6 points on the season. Whacks it across, toilet bowling it over toward DiLorenzo. D'Lo took a hard shot way back in the 1st, and there was some concern as to whether he'd return, but both he and Kissel, who went down and needed medical attention, are back into this game.
And Sam, to answer your question about changing the tempo from about 10 minutes ago, it's evident that Indiana has picked up the pace significantly here.
Here's Michelli. Dipsy-doos, leaves it for D'Lo. His shot goes off the back of the leg of Rooster. Now along the goal line, Michelli Can't hold on to it. And it's Van der Roost emerging again. He's got numbers with him. 4-on-3 rush over at the left circle. My goodness. There goes Chambers pushing the right bumper and the left bumper. If you're playing NHL 22 on the Xbox.
That's a dive if you're ever going to see one.
A belly flop, getting a face full of snow, and making the play.
Fortunately, he didn't end up tripping anybody because that could have been a very easy penalty to draw.
I think my little brothers will tell you that if you try to do that in the video game, you'll get a 5-minute major every single time. Here's Pizzatello moving it over behind the cage. There's Billis as bodies zoom right past him. He safely gets back into his crease. Larson back skates across the Michigan logo and feeds it to McDonald.
Diving is one of those things that's kind of frowned upon among hockey players. You don't see it very often.
Just over 8 minutes to go. Indiana up by 1. Michigan, a 5-game win streak on the line. Indiana has won 7 out of 8. The only loss coming in overtime when starting goaltender Sammy Billis was unavailable with that broken arm. Paul McDonald for Michigan, moving outside the center circle into the zone, but it's poked away by McKay, who picked his pocket. A little bit of alliteration there on accident, Garrett.
Great job by McKay right there.
Jeremy moving the puck every which way, leaving it for his line mate McDonald, crosses the blue line. A lazy shot that gets knocked aside by Larson, who gets a shot from the back. And again, the puck battled for right in front of us, in front of the scorer's table. 7.5 to go. Still a lead for Indiana. Here's Collins, a pass to the backside. A great lunge and a shot blocked by Cesarski, preventing a further opportunity. Here's Jeremy, a wrist shot. Near side kicked away by the pillow of Scott. Another one by Kenyon, he scores! Kenyon, the wrist shot from the high slot, and it's a hat trick for the senior in the game tonight that he got his 50th, 51st, and now 52nd points in his Indiana hockey career.
Are you kidding me?
What an evening for the man with the letter on his sweater that we talked about all game. And a performance to remember here at one of the biggest venues we'll see all season.
Cade spent some time up in the booth talking with us pregame, and I told him he better get one tonight because we've got a statement ready. If he gets to 50 points, he's not only done just that, he's put 2 more in the back of the net. He's got half of Indiana's goals, and it's 6-4 with 7 minutes to go.
Well, we'll have to check our notebooks to find the last time he did have a hat trick. Although, Garrett, I imagine the last time would have been the season pre-COVID when I was a freshman, while you were still back in high school doing TV.
Yeah, I believe he had 2 goals this season against the Chicago Cougars in that preseason game, including the game winner in overtime. But this is the first hat trick of the year for number 16.
And, Garrett, that Chicago Cougars game was about the most physical you'll ever see in college hockey because for good reason. Those Chicago Cougars are not college players. That's a major junior team.
Yep, they came and they brought it, but Indiana was still able to dethrone them.
Timeout called by Ryan Brown, the bench walker for Michigan, trying to settle his boys down after 2 goals in quick succession for Indiana. Nolan Kenyon, 2 upperclassmen, showing what needs to be done and leading by example here in the final period. Puck knocked across the goal line. Chris Scott, the netminder for Michigan, looking around him, trying to figure out if icing would be called. He paddles away a slow shot that's right along the edge of the ice. O'Flaherty moves in to scoop the puck up at the left slot. A quick shot, Krush jamming at it. A backhand shot and he scores! Vladislav Krush, another upperclassman making a difference. It's 7-4 with 6:41 to go here in the third. Krush, the senior from Moscow, Russia, has 10 goals this season. He's a physical player, and he earns every single point that he gets out onto the sheet. And boy, Indiana reviving themselves after giving up 3 straight. They do the same thing right back to Michigan.
This period, we've gotten to see 3 Indiana players get into the scoring column, Knoll, Krush, and Kenyon. And it's great to see Knoll and Krush get into this column because it seems like we haven't written their names down for goals in quite some time.
just past the 2200 hour here in Michigan. Thank goodness we don't have to do a station identification, Garrett.
That would be a pain.
Well, this is club ice hockey at Indiana University.
I will do it anyways.
Just over 6 to go here in the final period. And a reminder, we do have that 3 o'clock game tomorrow, a delayed call onto the ice. Brandenburg went down onto his knee pads and tripped a man up evidently, so Indiana will lose a man for a solid 2 minutes. Brandenburg, the freshman from Culver, Indiana, not to be confused with Sebastian Culver wearing the other color sweater, has been a relatively clean player. This will be his 13th and 14th penalty minutes. He's been an impactful defenseman, really being physical and moving the puck.
Now that Indiana's gone back up 3, they put themselves in a position to take it easy these last 6 minutes and get ready for tomorrow.
Off the draw, Michigan trying to make something happen. Williams thought about a lacrosse move, trying to do the Michigan goal in Michigan.
How fitting would that be?
Suggs flings it forward, back over to Matthews, a long wrist shot that goes over the bar. Timmons pushes a guy straight into the wood and back over to the left shot. Another good clearance as Tommy McDonald wound up all the way and followed through to fire the puck 200 feet.
Can't do it much better than that right there.
120 on the power play for the Wolverines. Persicki moving in front of his own bench, leaves it for Suggs at the blue line. A no-look pass into the attacking zone, but instead they'll retreat back and try to set up the formation again. 5:05 to go. Forstner dangling around. Jeremy moving as his shadow again. All the way down the sheet. Scott moves out of his crease and into the trapezoid as Michigan have 2 men up at the blue line and everyone else back behind the net. Push forward to Forstner. They may be trying to run a pre-planned set here. Stick handling by Azarovitz across the blue line. He gets a hip check and spins around. A great jump by the referee on the near corner. Leaped over the puck that was careening off the boards.
This PK unit did a great job killing out this penalty despite being up 3. They didn't back off.
Well, Garrett, you better knock on wood for me. We still have 15 seconds on this 5-on-4. McKay turns tail and
just clear it one more time.
Fires the puck
There
away.
you go.
Cesarski does just that. 5 seconds to go. And Paul McDonald gets dispossessed by Tommy McDonald. We've seen them go face-to-face several times in this final frame. Here's Ben Forstner from Grand Rapids, flinging the puck across. McKay using his body to shield the puck away from the man hugging him. Basically, that's Caden Rabishko, the sophomore defenseman. Quick passing, and Forstner looks to be holding his chin. He may have taken one up in the chops. Kenyon, who's already got a hat trick beside his name, leaves it for Krush. Krush, a high shot that goes just past the bar. Back to Cesarski, lining up a shot. Deflection in front of the cage. Krush almost had a second. 5 aside. Vladislav Krush harassing Nick Azarovitz behind his own net, trying to steal the puck back. Manas Sharma thinks about a shot, but instead the puck lazily slides across the red line. McKay holding it in the near corner, waiting for someone to show themselves as a viable option for a pass. Instead, it's stolen away by Sharma. Pizzatello and McKay going to battle in the near corner. Mitchell comes in to help. Under 3 to go. Indiana up by 3. 3 straight goals for the Cream and Crimson here in the final frame of Game 1. A field position punt by Indiana to get the defenseman a breather. They'll get a quick line change on. 2.5 to go. Chambers rushing around, swings through and around the twine. Cuts back, fires onto the boards. Vladislav Krush, a no-look pass that eventually bobbles over towards Cesarski. Offenbach shovels it backhanded all the way into the midline as Indiana gets a full, fresh set on. Here's Offenbach on the near side. He takes the big shoulder hit. Pizzatello scoops up the danger. And again, Offenbach trying to use his body as a weapon and a tool at the same time. 2 to go here in Ann Arbor. A big showing this evening on the road trip by the upperclassmen for Indiana. There's Jack Knoll, who's got a goal. Speaking of upperclassmen. Timmons moving around, an errant pass goes to Shouty, and Chambers had to make up for it by putting his leg in front of that shot and taking it. Matthews thinks about the shot from the right point, and it goes high and wide. Kept in the zone. Now over toward McDonald. It's a 2-on-2 rush. Knoll's with him. Here's McDonald. Cuts back outside the circle, and he gets bodied. Coming in to put the shoulder on him was Shouty. Brandenburg in the near corner. That's Jeremy. A little bit of a scrum ensues on the near side, but it's poked free. Kicker knocks it behind the goal line. 69 seconds to go in this contest. Jeremy leaves the puck over toward the high slot. A quick shot, poked away. Kissel, the backhander, goes behind the cage again. Under a minute now. Indiana needs to seal this up and finish off game successfully. A 3-goal margin with 50 seconds, Garrett. We've both seen crazier things, but you've got to learn how to close out.
Great performance today by Indiana, and with a win, they will actually jump Michigan to second in the TSCHL standings. They're currently tied at 20.
This is the first season that the Tri-State Collegiate Hockey League has split into a North and South division. A quick backhanded shot goes just past the far post. And under 30 seconds to go, we almost had a scare. Here comes D'Lo on the other side. Shot off the post, and maybe Scott got a piece of it. Nevertheless, D'Lo fires the puck back into the zone with 15 seconds to go, trying to seal things off. Final line change for Indiana and Michigan as well. Puck passed about by the Wolverines in the center. Stolen away by McKay. And that's how things come to a close. After 60 minutes of hard-fought hockey here on the road, the Cream and Crimson put a tally in the win column on night one of this 2-game series. 7-4 the final score. Garrett, the resiliency of this Indiana team really showed in the final period.
No question, Sam. In the first, it looked like all was well, and it was going to be a day of smooth sailing for Indiana. But as it turns out, Michigan fought back. They were able to tie it, and then Indiana answered with 3 in the third. An incredible performance by the Cream and Crimson today after a long bus trip, and it only makes you all the more excited for tomorrow.
Well, we're going to take a final tally of the shots on goal, turn the camera around, and get ready for this post-game show. Bones is back in the booth with us up here, and we'll get ready for the Indiana Hockey post-game show. But for the time being, I've been Sam Weixler on the call alongside Garrett Drake on the camera, and the stats and the tech in general. Ben Stannard making the journey with us on the first big road trip of this calendar year. Thank you all for listening. 7-4 the final score. Indiana puts a tally in the win column. This is Indiana Hockey on the Indiana Hockey Broadcast Network.
And welcome back to the post-game wrap-up show here on the Indiana Broadcast Network. After a month-and-a-half hiatus, Indiana able to come back and answer this season with a win. Sam Weixler and Carter Bonecutter joining me. Guys, Indiana started off hot. Michigan was able to claw their way back in. But at the end of the day, Carter, it was the Cream and Crimson who came out on top.
Yeah, no, super happy, obviously. It's always good to walk out with a win, especially start the weekend off right. Good to see, like we said, we had the jump early. That was a good sign after, the 6-week break. And then, the resiliency of just, coming back after, giving up a few goals and, finishing the job that we started.
You talked about that 6-week hiatus. I know a lot of guys did a lot of different things to stay loose. Did you do anything in particular over the break to skate?
I did, yeah. So I actually was only able to get on the ice just 2 or 3 times, but other than that, got a treadmill in my house, so made sure to get on that every day, make sure, the holiday foods weren't taking too much of a toll, but yeah.
Well, we know Vladislav Krush worked out 6 or 7 days a week during quarantine back in Russia to stay fit, and I'm sure that was a bit extreme for you on that front.
Yeah, no, I can't say that I was working out as much as Vladislav, but
That's pretty impressive.
yeah, it is.
I'm also curious, does it help knowing that he's willing to go into the corner and push somebody around to win the puck back so you can get into your spot?
Yeah, it definitely does. Anyone who's willing to go in the corners is always a huge help. It's kind of like the linemen in football. They're doing the dirty work. They might not get the credit for everything, but they definitely make everyone else look a lot better.
After Michigan was able to tie up the game early in the third, Sam and I talked about how Indiana's got to do something to change the tempo, and it seemed like ever since that happened, they started putting pucks in the net once again, and they were flying down the ice. The tempo really went from kind of balanced to up, it seemed, and Michigan really could not fare well with that.
Yeah, I think we ran into a little dry spell middle of the game, and once we popped one more in the third period, I think it really got the confidence back. Reassurance, we kind of had control of the game again, so it was just a good way to finish out.
Your thoughts on the finish?
I'm glad they rallied, and learning how to close out games is such an important skill that some teams just don't have. I think it's probably due to chemistry and just how the team works out, but it's good to see the 3 points collected on the opening night.
Well, Sam, Carter, I'd like to thank you guys for joining the post-game wrap-up show, and we'll be right back here on the Indiana Hockey Broadcast Network tomorrow at 3. Same teams, same place, hopefully same result for the Cream and Crimson.